Well, here I am still in Durban, but the International AIDS Conference has come to a close. There were three themes which tended to dominate the discussions. First, the fact that TB has to be taken far more seriously because of the co-infection levels with HIV/AIDS. Second, that women and girls are at the center of the vulnerability of the pandemic. We've spent more than 30 years neglecting gender. Finally, there were serious discussions at this conference. And third, there was a great roiling anxiety about the catastrophic drop in funding, over $2 billion in 2 years' time, which could presage the resurgence of the virus if we don't round up more money. But frankly, for AIDS-free world, if I may be self-centered for a moment, this conference had a particular vantage point, and that was something we did which turned out to be unique. We created a legal consultation center. Now let me tell you something about the way the conference is organized. There's the big hall of the conference with many adjacent rooms where the discussions and the panels occur. And then there's something called the Global Village. I'm sitting in it now, which is a writhing cacophony of noise and theatrics and music and discussion and networking zones where thousands of delegates travel through the day, seeing all of the booths and exchanging ideas and views. And these booths are held by NGOs to show their wares, to talk about what they're doing and what they believe in. Well, for us, we created a legal consultation center in a couple of booths. We brought together 25 or 30 lawyers whom we had rounded up in advance of the conference, but they were coming to the conference anyway, pro bono lawyers, absolutely no charge whatsoever, to sit down with however many delegates came to see them or members of the community and talk to them about any concerns or anxieties the delegates might have about this issue or that issue, this piece of discrimination or this injustice, which they wanted to think about. Was there conceivably some kind of legal recourse? Now, in truth, it's like an opening consultation. And in most countries, those consultations, these introductory consultations, can cost $200, $250. No one can afford it in an impoverished society. But the lawyers were there for free. It was overwhelming in the response. We had over 100 consultations, and the issues predictably ranged from rape and sexual violence to property grabbing, to stigma and discrimination in the workplace against LGBT people. It was quite amazing, and the lawyers loved it. In fact, we owe them a real vote of thanks, which I tender now, because in truth, they were so excited about it that they've lined up to be at the AIDS Conference for Africa next year in Côte d'Ivoire, and then in Amsterdam, the big International AIDS Conference will be 2 years hence. So for AIDS-free world, this was, dare I say, a triumph. We really filled a significant role in the conference, and everybody recognizes it. And that was last week. Now, next week, I'll be back with my usual ranting, raving, and roaring about the injustices and inequities of the world. I'm Stephen Lewis.